So we get into the introduction sequence here for the Nike women's 100 meters. T.T. Terry ran collegially at USC, now twice a world champion in the 4x1.
And you got a glimpse there of New Zealand's Hobbs, the oceanic record holder. Here's the Olympic champion, Elaine Thompson-Herah. She's improved after only getting 5th at the Jamaican Nationals, all the way to 10.84 this year. And maybe, if she can find another season's best, she can be a factor here.
Second fastest woman all time, and her lifetime best set on this track a couple of years ago. Next to her in lane 4, Marie-Josée Toloux, now 34 years of age, world championship silver medalist in the 100 and 200 in 2017. Hello, Sha'Carri.
The queen has arrived. The 100-meter world champion will start in lane 5. But make no mistake about it, every woman in this field would love to send her into the offseason, as we saw with Noah Lyles, with a loss.
Another woman ready to put on a show, Shericka Jackson. This is the setup, Otto, because the featured event tomorrow at the end of our program is potentially her going after another FloJo world record at 200.
You're going to want to watch that tomorrow on NBC as she goes after FloJo's 35-year-old world record, the silver medalist from Worlds this year. Here's Dina Asher-Smith, the British record holder at both 100 and 200. Very mixed year for her. We're not used to seeing her miss podiums at Worlds, but she's been struggling with some injuries.
Tasha Morrison of Jamaica made the World Championship final when it was in Beijing at the Bird's Nest back in 2015. She gets the draw in lane 8.
And last out of the tunnel will be Lancico of Great Britain, who is improving mightily. She became just the 3rd British woman to break 11 seconds in the 100 meters after Dina Asher-Smith and Daryl Nida. And that is certainly great for her, but it also helps the British 4x1, which is always competitive. So just like we had in the men's 100, you have the world champion in the middle of the race in Sha'Carri Richardson in 5, and a bunch of women who would like some revenge for not having won Worlds, not the least of whom, I think, is Shericka Jackson, who has not beaten Sha'Carri Richardson at 100 meters for the entire year.
The Nike women's 100. And they are underway. Toloux had a good run, but outside, it is now in the middle of the track, Shericka Jackson.
Not a bad time either, 10.70. So both world champions come to Prefontaine and taste defeat from the field assembled here to face them. So Shericka Jackson gets her first win over Sha'Carri for the 2023 season. Toloux up for 2nd in a season's best 10.75. And the Olympic champion, who many people had written off as maybe that's it for her, improves all the way to 10.79 for 3rd. And these two, we saw it during Budapest. There's so much camaraderie. And that celebration is because Morrison, who was only 6th, did set a personal best, though, with 10.85. Terry got a season's best as well in 5th. What they're not getting, though, Paul, and what I'm sort of looking at for tomorrow and that world record attempt in the 200, is some help from the wind.
0.8.
Well, the men had 0.1, the women have 0.8. Maybe tomorrow we'll have a little bit more wind. But here's another look. Shericka Jackson is 4th from the left. Sha'Carri Richardson did not get a good start and never was a factor. But Shericka recovered from an okay start by her standards. She had the best second half of the race, and that's what got her to the win. So just like the men, we will have a tie at the top of the 100-meter standings. Shericka Jackson and Sha'Carri Richardson will be tied for the world lead as we end the season at 100 meters with 10.65.
Look at that replay on the Xfinity 10G Flycam. Shericka Jackson won but not done, as we'll see her tomorrow at 200 meters. But Sha'Carri Richardson's season is over, and she checks in with Lewis Johnson.
All right, Paul, thank you. Well, Sha'Carri, the season is over. You got to smile. Tell me about your thoughts on really this race and everything you've accomplished.
Oh my gosh, my thoughts on this race, honestly, was just coming out here, doing the best I could, having the season that I've had. But I have no problem. The ladies that executed their best here, 1, 2, 3, all the way down to me 4, and the entire field. Amazing women's, amazing season, and I can't wait to see these same ladies next year in 2024.
And I'm sure it's going to be a crazy matchup. Listen, we talked about your season so far, consistency and focus, the 2 words that Otto Bolden used. You agree with that, just on how you really made yourself known this season?
I'm definitely not going to agree with Otto, but I will say, though, I agree with having great sportsmanship, having a great spirit, and having just a wholeness with yourself that nobody else can shake is what makes a great athlete and shows a great season.
And so as this season wraps up, how do you take some time off, and when do you start thinking about the U.S. championships and then that team to Paris if you make it?
Oh my gosh, honestly, I think about taking this time off, enjoying what I've done for myself this year, enjoying what's to come, and honestly, even preparing for better come the next season.
And the new look today, anything words on that?
Honestly, I would say my coach, I told him that if I go 10-6, I wear my natural hair. So when I became the world champion, instead of championship record, I ran a 10:65. So I had to pull out the natural.
All right, Sha'Carri.
Green machine.
Dennis Mitchell, all right. Congrats on a tremendous season.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Lewis. One thing we can agree with Sha'Carri on, we don't always agree with Otto Bolden either, but it was a phenomenal race, and Shericka Jackson is the Diamond League champion in the women's 100 meters.